one of the things that really attracted me to the work of the Global Fund was that as a woman, having grown up in India, which is where I'm from, I had not only experienced firsthand the complete negation of worth that you can experience just by virtue of having been born female in a particular part of the world, but also experienced the fact, which is sort of a paradox and yet is so true, that it was women who were also doing the most interesting things to both change their own circumstances, but also to transform what existed in their own communities in terms of other inequities or injustices, or to fill gaps that were not being addressed either by the private sector or by the government. Here was an organization willing to put resources directly into the hands of women and trust and respect that women in the places where they were facing the problems were best able to identify what the priorities were in their own communities and identify what the appropriate solutions would be in those communities. So not sitting in Chicago or Palo Alto or San Francisco and saying, we here in our wisdom, in one of the most privileged, wealthy nations of the world, think that what people need in this village or in this community is a well or a school or a program for remedial education, but rather turning that traditional model on its head and saying, let's open up our ears. Let's listen to what women themselves are saying. Let's listen to what communities are identifying as priorities for themselves. And then let's figure out whether we can get resources directly to those communities in ways that enable them to use it flexibly and for what they see as their major concerns.